Hi. Yes, I would love to say more about that. And also, it's exciting because I put together a brief virtual tour of the gardens. And so I'll be able to point out some of the spaces that both Rick and Regina were talking about. Um, shall I just hop into that? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, okay. And yes, also hello, I'm Quinn. Work with Rick and also Regina, doing a multitude of different things. But I am really passionate about restoring, like Rick was talking about, the spring ephemerals and also other medicinal forest plants, which are different from some of our medicinal prairie and full sun plants. So that's got me really jazzed up recently. But I also do things on the shamanic side of sacred earth arts as well. So, okay, let me try and share my screen. So, welcome to the Dogwood Forest at Sacred Earth Arts. This is a place that I just love with my whole heart, and so I will try and be brief and concise as much as I can. But this will familiarize you with all of the gardens that we have and the spaces that you will have access to as a student. And then right off the bat, of course, I have to show some of our beautiful pollinator friends. And that's one of my favorite things about working at Sacred Earth Arts and these gardens is how prolific the pollinators are just because of the planting that we're doing. Here is a map of the property. And so I'll just kind of show you right away. We're going to begin our tour around the house. So the gardens that you see in the next several slides will start us out in the front of the house and move across the porch and then up into the forest. We will travel and then we will emerge right here at the entrance of the forest. And then we kind of go on part two, so to speak, of our journey. Okay, so right away, we just come to the front of the house, cute little greenhouse with a red roof tucked away. It has some type of special invisibility cloak, I think, because it sometimes eludes people, including myself, the first time I went there. I also drove past it. But so this is the house, front of the house, and in the front of the house, we tend several gardens that are full sun, part shade, and it's just an assortment of different medicinal Kansas and Missouri or Plains region indigenous plants. And this is where you can kind of get your master class in garden management and also what weeding really means because when we're working in this type of environment where a weed is a really subjective term. And so then we travel to the front of the house where again we've got these beautiful a variety of false sunflower and several different Solomon seals. These are all plants that you will learn about when you are working here, but I also just want to show off some of the most gorgeous residents that we have. So then we're going to get to the patio, and I just kind of stopped to mention this because this is sort of like a classroom that we have. And so lots of different things happen here. This is preparation of the transplant sale that we have every year that goes towards funding one of our very favorite events for the forest. The gardens behind the patio are the shade gardens, and they feature several types of lobelias that are lovely. And then, of course, jewel weeds, and you'll see just the back side of the house. This is like a little moment of a photo, but there's so many different medicinal plants just right there, right off the back side of the house. So these are all spaces where we work. And of course, you have to shout out to the Dogwoods for the namesake. And this is as we're traveling up into the forest. And this is kind of a look down into the backyard, which also has a multitude of different plants that we work with. Some other spring ephemerals that we love that grow in the hillside where, you know, you get to kind of play and again, just sort of see, this is through the season. So here's spring, but also you get to see like the beautiful lushness of summer too. So this is traveling up through the forest, and we have arrived at the fork in the road where you can either go up into the grove, or if you go down the hill, you get to see our beautiful pond. And this is summertime pond. You'll see the lotuses and the lily pads, and it's really in its full, yeah, most lush state. Also, holler if you have any questions or comments, feel free. Um, so then up into the grove is this view, and this is a photo that we from when we had I guess it was a homeschool group come out and spend the day with us on the property. And so here we are in our magical grove, and this is where I am excited to be installing more of those medicinal forest plants where we can really see them and use this as a teaching space and just an example of all of the different medicinal plants that Missouri has. Kansas. This is a view looking, if you've walked through the grove now and you're sort of at the top of the hill, this is a look down into the forest and into the grove. Now we have a few videos. This is just a beautiful summer, I guess an early summer day in the Dogwood Forest. And just a few sort of beautiful moments, a tree altar that we have that Regina made the mask for. And then when we had visitors for the forest, we put in a few different swings and hammocks. So it's really fun. And this is one of my very favorites. It's the columbine. And so that's one that I'm excited to try and spread more of in the grove. This is some beautiful work, another teaching space, classroom gathering area, the work done by a friend of ours, Zola Grace, and her son. And so this is where we gather a lot of the time if we're having working days in the forest. This is at the entrance to the forest. It's sort of signified by a few different pieces of art that we've done as a community. The bullseye, and then also this year, a goddess that is harvested and made all from natural materials. And so that was for our forest celebration that we have in October. And so now we're at the entrance to the forest. I just feel like it's a very special place, and also it's sort of the perfect place to gather. So that's where we'll have class and things like that sometimes. And then this is just like a beautiful, I thought a beautiful moment looking out over the hill at the end of a day, or maybe the beginning of a class rather, but just to kind of orient you, now we've gone from like this lowest part of the property up onto the top of a hill that looks out like this. And so, yeah, here we are, sort of right here. And now we are going to come across, and I'm going to show you images of a prairie garden that's right here, the high tunnel greenhouse that Rick was talking about, as well as the orchard and the blueberries. And then we'll go and visit this teaching garden, which is all native and naturalized medicinal plants. And so let's go. So this is one of my favorite just moments on the entire property. And I think early September, and the asters are blooming in the goldenrod and the river oats. And so this is where you get to work and learn how to restore and cultivate these amazing indigenous plants with Rick. And then we come into the high tunnel where you can see the figs that Rick mentioned and some of the annuals. And so this is a day in class, and this is kind of what one of the summer workshops looks like. It's doing a bunch of different things, and harvesting and working in these gardens is one of them. And we have an abundant and amazing amount of lavender that Rick planted for us, which really is an incredible asset because then you can learn how to process and harvest that for a myriad of different preparations that we use and things that we sell at our farmers market. And there's those gorgeous blueberries, and 700 or so is what I've been told. So that is yeah, a really beautiful blueberry patch, I think. And so we're in the orchard here, and that's a lovely comfrey. And so you'll see there's apples, pears, peaches, all in the orchard. So you get to work in there and taste stuff, and we make things, and it is just amazing. And so, yeah, there we have some blueberry harvesting. That's one of my favorite things that we get to do is help Rick harvest blueberries. And then there's some blackberries as well. So as we travel down from the orchard, there's another prairie garden installation. And just, I think this is a really impressive patch of common milkweed. And so that's a notable moment on the tour. And luckily, I had some pictures of the perfect moments. And then we travel down to the turtle medicine teaching garden. And you'll see here in this image, elderberries on both sides. This is just a beautiful moment. I'm smiling because that was such a cool class. It rained, but we, were out there still working, and it was just so much fun. And so we have motherwort uh, in the medicine garden, as well as you see just the video of sort of full scope. On this particular day, we were installing irises, and some lilies too, I think, just as a part of, I don't know, there's the medicinal plants, and then it's also like art too. And so I feel like Regina leads us in different ways to make these additions to the medicine garden that I feel are what intertwine even more deeply on another level, the spirituality aspect with the practical element of being an herbalist. So sages, coreopsises, hyssops, these are all beautiful plants that we'll be working with. And then, of course, our elderberries and our elderflowers. So we do 2 different harvests. On this one, flowers for one purpose, and then the berries for another. There we are working. So just, getting to be out there and working with Rick and covering a myriad of different topics, but then also taking those plants back and making medicine with them after that. So this is looking from the bottom of the hill up, and then there is a little monarch butterfly caterpillar on a butterfly milkweed. So I thought that was really special. And then just another look at the concentric rings. And over here, just a variety of different species that we have, some monardas and horsemints. Oh no, the battery's gonna die. And then plantain, and then I think you get a nice look at our a little bit of passion flower, and that's some swamp milkweed. Just really awesome flower. So one last good look. In the middle, in this little grassy part here in the middle, we are planting asters and sweetgrass. And so that's an exciting thing that we just added last year. And this is a spring planting day, and it was chilly, but this is one of the best days that we have every year. And that is just getting to either continue to plant additional species of the same plant that we just want more of, and then also introducing new plants to the garden. And then here's just some more of the prairie restorations that we have. And then just for reference, here we're on the gravel road here. This is what takes you down, or if you drive your car up, then you'll use this gravel road that goes up and down. And then last, I just wanted to show some of our beautiful harvests. And so at the end of every, I guess, once the harvest kind of starts coming in, we start gathering. And so I wanted to document those moments, and it really, I think, shows how substantial the work is that we are doing each class. So, and there's a little turtle. Okay, thank you, everyone.